There'll be many of you watching us this afternoon who are normally at work while we're on, and that's because of today's strike action. Train and bus drivers, uni lecturers, civil servants, security guards and teachers, of course. So hi to all the kids at home watching who'd normally be at school. As many as 100,000 teachers are on strike over pay. The government says it's spoiling the lives of working people who have children to look after. The National Education Union says all teachers want is to be paid fairly and in line with inflation. Den, where do you stand on this?
Well, selfishly, at the moment, you know, my kids are up and grown, so I'm not dealing with it, nor did I have to through the pandemic restrictions. My sister, on the other hand, does have young children and is being affected. However, I stand with the teachers. I am absolutely fed up to the back teeth of this government and their attempts to take away our rights to protest and to strike. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that the rail strike, the teachers' strike, the NHS strike has all come at the same time. And, you know, as someone who had a dad in hospital during the NHS, you know, something has to give. We have to make changes. And I did a documentary about 13 years ago, a long time ago, where I had to go and work in a school, actually off the back of Waterloo Road. They wanted me, the pretend teacher, to go and be a real teacher in my old school. And, you know, we'd always had this sort of sarcastic comments about teachers. Well, they get 6 weeks off and all this kind of stuff. I lived within that school for a fortnight doing this documentary, and I saw how hard they work, how their boundaries have been taken away. They don't know, you know, what to do anymore. Their pay has been cut. It's never been in line with inflation for a long time. And the fact is, the amount of red tape and bureaucracy, the thing they want to do the most, and I know we have a teacher in the audience, the thing we want to do the most is to teach our children. But I'm afraid it's come to this, and this decision will not have been taken lightly.
But then the argument, of course, we've had quite a few of you that have been contacting us online, actually, about this and have been leaving your messages. Vicky here, that we asked a question, do you support the teachers' strike? 60% said yes, 40% said no. Vicky here says, no, I don't support it, and definitely disappointed that parents had no time to arrange childcare to cover the schools. Everybody's struggling at the moment, and this makes it even worse. And then conversely, Helen says, yes, people are so fixed on pay, it's about the conditions, the stretched budgets, and no one wants exhausted staff. I really wish everyone would highlight everything other than pay. You're nodding there. Do you agree with them?
Of course. I mean, well, the thing is, it's complicated, of course, but my position is the same positions I took with the nurses striking, that these people are doing it because they have no other choice. They are backed into a corner, and it's about their working conditions. If they don't do it, it's to the detriment of the students and of the patients. So there's no choice. Everyone knows they don't want to do it, but they have no other choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I agree, and I don't have children, so I thought, right, who do I message? So I've messaged a very close friend and my sister-in-law. And they gave me both their opinions.
Because they're both teachers, right?
No, so one's a teacher and one's a parent.
Okay.
Right? And I have 10 nieces and nephews, so, of course, I went to her first. It's a disruption to the children who need support. I have to reschedule my day. I lose a pay as well, right? That's her, so she's very anti it. The teacher, however, say, remember, this is not just about pay. This is that teachers want to teach children. Their tiny percentage of their day now is teaching because they have so much red tape. They have to do the paperwork after teaching, the paperwork. They're underfunded. They have to sometimes pay for things in their classroom because they don't get it themselves to allow the children to do it. They had to adapt online during lockdown, as well as it was disruption to everyone. They had to adapt, so they do adapt all the time. The first thing they said is they want to teach. They love teaching, but they are just under a barrel. They can't do it enough. You know, they're getting second jobs. You know, they're doing so many things. And it's our government, exactly what you said. Our government sucks right now. It absolutely does, because it absolutely does. You know,
and the government decides which protests they're going to half-heartedly support and which ones they're not as well. And it's not there. It's absolutely appalling. The thought that we can ban protest in this country because they don't like what the results are is an absolute disgrace.
But then you sort of have...
The sooner they're out, the better.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the government sort of talks about the fact that they, you know, it's not an endless money pot that they have, and it just doesn't. They do not have the funds to be able to.
They have the funds
to
for
bring
a lot
it
of
within.
things, though,
but
don't they, Charlene?
that is what they say, and they sort of talk about spoiling the lives of working people. I do have school-age children, and I know it's been hard for a lot of the parents in Alfie's class to be able to arrange childcare, to be able to work out what it is that they're doing with their children. The school's been very good. The school, not every class though, is not happening today because not every teacher is on strike. So some of the classes are going on. Alfie's class is not. You know, but parents, in principle, of course, they want teachers to feel like they are supported, that they are paid well, that they have the resources that they need, that they can actually spend time teaching. Of course, that's what parents want, but I think it's quite difficult when you are that parent who is struggling to make ends meet and you've got to try and sort childcare. I mean, our school has put something on for those kids whose parents really have no other choice but to send their kids to school today, which has been a major help. There have been parents in the school who, in my class...
And teachers are parents too, of course,
No,
as well.
of course. And there have been parents in our class who are looking after other children as well today to be able to help out. But I think it is that, you know, at the end of the day, I guess that the thing we have to remember is there are two pillars that help us survive as society and help us to flourish, and that is education and that is health. And we have to make sure that we are protecting and looking after those pillars, because if we don't have that, then it's a country that will not thrive as much as it should do in a generation's time.
Yeah.